You know, when you look at the world of digital assets, it's so much noise, right? All hype, all speculation. But what's actually under all that? Is there a real blueprint for building something that's meant to last? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into today.
And this image, wow, it just says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you've got that familiar crypto chaos. You know the drill. A ton of logos, hype, speculation, it's a mess. But then, on the other side, you see a blueprint. Something clean, structured, with a real foundation. So the million-dollar question is, how do you get from that chaos to that blueprint?
And that's such a critical question because, let's be real, the big institutional players, they don't care about the hype. They're not scrolling through social media for their next big investment. They need a serious, rigorous framework. They're looking for things like structure, actual real-world credibility, massive scale, and, of course, long-term sustainability.
All right, so if that's the standard, what does a blueprint that actually meets it look like? Well, the source material we're diving into today lays out a whole new framework for figuring that out.
And that blueprint, it's built on something they call the 5 pillars of an institutional-grade asset. Honestly, you can just think of it as a checklist, a way to spot a digital asset that has some real staying power. So, let's walk through them one by one.
Okay, pillar number 1. This one is absolutely foundational. It's all about real-world credibility. The whole idea here is that a serious asset can't just live in its own little digital bubble, right? It has to have some kind of validation from trusted, outside sources.
And what's so cool about this slide is that these aren't just random logos slapped on a page. I mean, think about it. Getting backing from Google for startups, that tells you there's real technical and operational muscle there. Getting ranked by NIST, that's the National Institute of Standards and Technology, that points to some serious legitimate AI modeling. And an invitation to the New York Stock Exchange? Come on, that screams governance credibility. These are tangible, real-world stamps of approval. All right, let's move on to the second pillar. And this one's all about people. And I'm not talking about bots or some fudged, inflated user numbers. We're talking about a live, verifiable, honest-to-goodness human economy. And that's just so crucial, because at the end of the day, a digital economy is only as valuable as the people in it. Just look at this. We're talking about a network that's truly global, spanning 131 countries. This is way more than just lines of code. It's a massive, connected, and super engaged community.
And just look at this number. Over 4.7 million verified real users. I mean, in an industry where it's so easy to fake your user account, having a verified, bot-resistant user base of this size, that is a whole different ballgame.
Okay, pillar number 3. Now we're getting into the engineering, the intelligent design of the asset itself. You know, how is this thing actually built? Is it just one of those single tokens trying to be a jack of all trades, or is it something that's purpose-built to protect value for the long haul? And this visual, I love this. It illustrates the concept perfectly. Instead of having one token that does everything, this model splits it into 2. You've got this dynamic flowing jar on the left for the utility token, and then this solid protected jar on the right for the reserve asset. And separating them is absolutely key, because it stops the core asset from getting watered down by all the day-to-day network activity.
The whole point here is that they have totally separate jobs. The utility token, that's your workhorse. It's what fuels the network, it's what rewards people for participating. Then you have the reserve token. That's the anchor. It's all about treasury strength and long-term stability. Each one has a clear purpose, and they're designed specifically not to get in each other's way.
And that brings us perfectly to pillar number 4, treasury discipline. This is all about building a stable economic engine that can go the distance, kind of like a traditional central bank or a really well-run corporate treasury. Yeah, this image of the interconnected gears is a great way to picture it. The whole goal is to create a system that keeps things in balance. So instead of just, printing new tokens into infinity, this is a structured approach. It actually takes the best ideas from traditional finance and adapts them to create stability and really predictable incentives. So what do you get from all that discipline? Well, you get exactly what institutions are looking for. You get economic stability, even when the markets are going crazy. You get predictable incentives for everybody who's participating. You get real protection against runaway inflation. And maybe most importantly, you get long-term alignment, making sure everyone is pulling in the same direction. And that leads us right into our final pillar, number 5. This is really where the whole value proposition just clicks into place. See, the reserve asset isn't just something you hold on to. It's actually the key that unlocks access to that massive verified human network we were just talking about. This image of a bridge is the perfect way to think about it.
By holding or staking the reserve asset, which is basically like locking it up to show your support for the network, these institutions can cross that bridge. And on the other side, they get secure access to this global bot-proof network. They can use it for things like AI training or market research, and it's all done in a way that makes economic sense for everybody involved.
So, okay, let's put it all together. You take these 5 pillars, the credibility, the real human user base, that smart, purposeful design, the treasury discipline, and the structured access. What do you actually get at the end of the day?
What you get is an asset that's basically purpose-built to meet that institutional standard we talked about. It's operating at a truly global scale. Its treasury model is completely intentional. And that unique way it handles human verification, it literally changes the economics of the whole system.
And this right here, this is the ultimate takeaway. The argument is that we need to stop thinking about this as just another crypto project. It's being framed as something much bigger, essential economic infrastructure for a future that's going to rely more and more on verified human interaction online.
So I want to end with this quote from the source because it just perfectly wraps up this whole blueprint. It says, "Reserve assets are not chosen for excitement, they're chosen for reliability, structure, and trust." And wow, that really sets a powerful, powerful standard for what the next generation of digital assets should be aiming for.